Hello everyone, this is Shankar here, and with me is my old friend from IIM Lucknow, and Venki. And this video is specifically being recorded for explaining this uh, coaching program that Venki has created for young professionals to coach them in the field of AI and ML. And so I'll ask Venki to explain this course in more detail. So Venki, over to you. Can you please just start with a brief introduction about yourself and your Insights AI company?
Thanks, Shankar, for that brief agenda setting. My name is Venkateshwaran Venki, and I run this company called Insights AI, and we are into AI and machine learning training, and also we do data analytics training, primarily for three segments: corporates, then for young professionals who have 0 to 5 years of work experience, and also for students. About me, I have about 20 plus years of experience in this area of data analytics, AI, and ML across many Fortune 100 companies like Dell, Wipro, Musigma, and HighRadius, right? And let me tell you the context with which I came to found this company, Insights AI, right? Over my experience of 20 plus years in the industry, what I have realized is that between the kind of people that are being trained and shaped up by the colleges and those who have or who come into the industry, I found that there is a yawning gap. You can call it an industry academia divide of some sort. And when I deeply looked at that, I found that ongoing coaching, ongoing training, even after one passes out of the college, is very much necessary with the rate at which the knowledge is changing in today's world, especially in AI and ML. It's imperative that one has to constantly upskill oneself. And therefore, this idea of Insights AI was born, right? And Insights is a function of authentic data, which is gathered through primary and secondary market research. You layer that data on top of a technology platform, and you analyze that in structured business framework. So as part of my coaching program, you would be exposed to how do you get authentic data, how do you kind of analyze the data using technology tools, frameworks, and then how do you generate insights and present them.
Yeah, thanks very much. So just to give my take on what Venki does and offers and brings to the table is that Venki is from, now I know this for the last 24 years plus. Venki is one of the very diligent and very methodical and very data oriented person. And to me, it is absolutely like no surprise that he is able to teach AI ML. It's almost like fish in water. So this is so when we aim to learn something from somebody, uh, we want to learn from somebody who is very good and also constantly progressing and keeping himself or herself at the top end of that learning spectrum, so that we can learn from the very best person possible. So in the case of AI ML, if you are a young professional with 0 to 5 years experience, learning AI ML from Venki would be one of those extremely rewarding opportunities for your career progress. That's how I see it, and that's the reason why when I came to know that Venki has created this coaching program, I was extremely eager and keen to create a foundation and a video and also set it up on our own GSBX platform where more people are coming for more courses to get this in front of more people. And I'll also make the efforts to share this personally with people in our LinkedIn community. So, Venki, tell us more about the specific course that you have prepared for young professionals.
So when young professionals are recruited into the industry, right, one of the first challenges that they would face is the gap between what they were taught in the universities, right? Today, in most of the universities, they still teach, C, C++ programming experience at a fundamental level. But then the industry has come to a stage where we are talking of no code, right, or low code kind of using those platforms and advanced, languages like Python, right? Therefore, the first thing that my course would address is to bridge this gap with a pre-learning course on Python fundamentals, right? I would start with Python fundamentals and then get them on to what is data analytics, some of the basics of math, probability, statistics, etc., which lay the foundation for machine learning. Then in the second module, we would sort of, transform into, fundamentals of machine learning, where I would teach them about techniques of regression, linear regression, logistics regression. Then there would also be sort of, in line with the objective to formulate business problems as machine learning problems, right? I would also cover supervised learning, unsupervised learning. In terms of under supervised learning, we would have regression, classification, and under unsupervised learning, we would have clustering and data mining. Then we would gradually move on to the core division. What I spoke about before is what is known as the foundation modules, right? The foundation modules, which include Python, programming refreshers, fundamentals of machine learning, etc. And then the program would go into the core, which would have introduction to deep learning with neural networks, text, speech, and image processing, which become increasingly important today, right? With the likes of ChatGPT and other tools coming into the market, right? So then we would move on to the other core topics like advanced deep learning and computer vision, under which we would cover artificial neural networks, TensorFlow, then object detection, transformer models for natural language processing. This whole course or this program would be of a duration of about 5 months. And at the end of this, they would get a program completion certificate, right? Which would be very valuable in the industry, because one of the key features of our program is that this core curriculum, they are all live sessions, right? They will be live online sessions during weekends by industry practitioners who have 20 plus years of experience working in Fortune 100 companies, right? And these capstone and hands-on projects that we would expose the participants to, right? They will work in teams to design and solve real-world business problems, encompassing data science pipeline using AI and ML techniques. So typically, this capstone and hands-on projects will be from various industry domains. And more importantly, we would have regular tests and feedback sessions, right? We would do feedback analysis and give individual feedback as to what they are good at and what needs improvement from their side, right? And at the end of the program, we would also have certain career services to, help them get placed in top companies.
Very good. I think that's what really also attracted me and motivated me to share this coaching program with as many people as possible, because of the clear focus on making the students of this course ready for jobs that are going to right away relevant and also almost seamlessly moving into roles which they can pick up whatever they are and go on from there. That I think is a very, very attractive feature of this course. Venki, can you just explain what kind of input requirements you have from the students, and is in what should be their educational backgrounds, or what in terms of educational backgrounds, in terms of their existing proficiency or understanding of computer science, languages, concepts, etc. What is the input level required to start this course?
With the requirements in the artificial intelligence and machine learning areas, right, in the industries that are going to embrace this in the next, 10 to 20 years, right, the demand for, machine learning and deep learning engineers and all kind of support roles associated with this area is going to be huge, right? And therefore, if you ask me, right, the only criteria that I would look at is, are you passionate about this area? Are you interested in getting into this area? Now, what does an interest in this mean, right? There should be a certain cutoff points, eligibility criteria, etc. So we would look at basic aptitude or a basic understanding of math, right? You should have an orientation towards math, and basic understanding of programming concepts, right? We are not saying you need to be an expert in Python or you need to have such and such tools, understanding of the tools, etc. All that we are looking at is, do you have aptitude for programming? We would train you into Python, right? And in terms of your background, I think we are only looking at a graduation, preferably in BE, BTech, or math-related, MSc Mathematics or MCA, right? These are the kind of programs which are amenable to AI and ML training. Nonetheless, we would look at least 50% marks, right? Because that's a very reasonable cutoff. Nonetheless, if you are keen and if you're from any other stream also, please feel free to apply. And then on a case-by-case basis, depending on your aptitude for the program, we would kind of relax the eligibility criteria, right? And more importantly, we feel that working professionals are the best bet for this program, right? Because what happens is that once you're in the industry and spend a couple of years in the industry, then you get grounded, right? While you are in a college, within the four walls of the college, you would tend to not have the reality check, but 2 years of experience in the industry would ground you. And that is where we want to handhold you and let you, and skyrocket your career, change the orbit of your career. That's the purpose with which we are coming up with this program.
Right. Yeah, it sounds very interesting. And the reason I asked was exactly what the purpose was, to see who all can safely apply. And I think the answer is very clear. The real requirement is an aptitude, and the various, let's say, filters that we are using, whether it's the stream of graduation, engineering, MCA, BTech, stats courses, etc., are basically just pointers towards that. And some 50% cutoff shows that course was done with reasonable sincerity. And so I think that provides an answer. And so in terms of like the weekly hours or the total course duration, you had mentioned to me offline that about 120 hours of study approximately will be required. Like, is that something that would, if you decide to break it into a weekly effort, what kind of weekly effort in terms of hours should a student of this course expect to put in?
So it's a very intensive program, Shankar, and I would say that for a passionate student, right, every available hour during the week is something that they have to sort of invest in the recorded videos, etc., to get to learn and understand this subject, right? It requires that kind of a treatment. That said, in terms of focused coaching, we have 8 hours of coaching per week, right? And the timings are during the weekend, which would suit any working professional. And typically, to cover for the timings across the globe, we are offering this program to anybody across the globe. And therefore, we have kept the timings to be 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. IST, the Indian Standard Time, right? Which would correspond to the early morning hours, the morning time in both the East Coast and West Coast of the United States, and daytime in parts of Europe, right? Therefore, we found that this was the common time which would best fit for students or young professionals to make the most out of this program, right? For the 120 hours is the focused approach towards this program, and this is spread across a period of 4 months, right? So at about 4 to 5 weeks per month, the young professionals need to invest 8 hours of coaching program, right? And during the part of the coaching program, right, I'm sure the young professionals would be motivated enough to go back and revisit some of the videos, the programs that we expose them to during the course of their work week as well. And we do not expect the students to prepare anything or come prepared, invest any extra time during their busy work schedules towards this. Because we are very confident that with the nature and the course content that we are going to provide, it would motivate intrinsically any young professional with an aptitude towards math and programming to lap it up, right? To be hungry about this. So this is the kind of confidence and intrinsic motivation that we want to develop with the young professionals.
Good. Venki, can you just tell me more about the Capstone project or Capstone projects? Not sure whether it's one or more, but what have you planned under the Capstone project? And because I would assume that it will be something that will literally be using all the learnings of the course in some way or the other to, and so that it get applied. So can you give an example of how a Capstone project would look uh, and uh, just to get an idea?
So in capstone projects, what would happen is that we would have the participants work in teams, right? Maybe
Okay.
teams of 3 to 4 people, and they would be solving a real world business problem, right? And this business problem could be from any of the functional domains, right? It could be from retail, it could be from healthcare, it could be from banking or insurance, or it could be from oil and gas industry, right? So we would get real life data sets from any of these industries, and then they would have a very focused problem to work on, right?
Okay.
For example, one of the capstone project could be how do you sort of optimize the advertising budget for, say, a company like Hewlett Packard or IBM, right? Given that this has been the spend on advertising by, say, HP over the last 5 years by channel, say, such and so many dollars through TV, so many dollars through newspapers, so much of online banner advertisement, so much of email marketing, etc., right? With the kind of huge data that they would have, the Capstone project would have them develop a machine learning model, for example, understanding the right technique to use in that particular case, and then structuring the data, cleansing the data, massaging the data, right? Data wrangling, as we call it, right? So how do you wrangle the data, get the right set of parameters, convert the parameters, transform the data, and then make it so clean that it is fed into this model, and then the model will churn out and then say, hey, look, your current distribution or percentage that you're allocating of your advertising budget could potentially be changed to a different percentage, right? So it's a recommendation that particular model would give, which is as close to reality as you can get, because these are some of the challenges that most companies are grappling with, right?
Right.
Or market basket analysis, for example, on the retail front, right? A company would still be grappling with, hey, the customer has positioned product A and product B together, and if I analyze the last 100 invoices, they seem to come together. Should I provide a recommendation to the customer in terms of, a pre-prepared market basket, if you will, to sort of, help them do shopping more effectively, right? And therefore, these capstone projects address such problems and give them an edge over others. Because typically, if you look at an interview with a Mang or a Fang Plus kind of company today, these are some of the real life problems that they would ask in the during the interview process, and you should be prepared to be able to quickly come up with the right techniques and provide some kind of an approach or a baseline a resolution or solution to the problem.
Right. That's useful. Venki, one quick question, which is again on the course and the delivery of the course. Uh, the course will be fully online, right?
Yes. At the
Okay.
outset, we are trying to provide the course fully online, and post the course, if people require some kind of placement assistance that we provide, we could also have, our vision is to make sure that we build these forums in each of the major cities across the globe, right? So we would have cohorts of people gathering, and then we could have an open discussion as well, right? But fundamentally, all through the 4 months, the course would be offered online.
And any questions the students have, they can ask you
Yes.
ongoing basis during the week as well, and wait for some replies later, because
Yes.
because I assume that the courses that you would be delivering like on the weekends, 4 hours plus 4 hours, and then somebody who wants to do this self-study would be doing during the week, and then as the questions come, they may send you those questions. Is that how it is structured, or
Yes.
they should wait for the weekend to come?
No, we will have a support system. We would have a sort of an email plus a WhatsApp number where they could sort of, put in their questions, their queries, their clarifications, doubts as they start solving or coding. And then we have our support team which would step in and then resolve those issues for them. Right? That's an ongoing process. But in terms of actually speaking out and verbally expressing anything, during the course of the online program, they would have a chat window in which they can actually put the chat questions. And through the program, the instructor, if they want to speak out, would unmute them during the course of the class. And then they can even voice out in case they are uncomfortable putting their questions on the chat.
Right. Got it. So in a way, the questions from the side of the student can keep flowing even after those weekend hours of lessons. They can flow during the week, and replies can come. And so from their side, their learning can just go on. Whenever they get time, they should start learning and moving forward.
Absolutely. So they would have group discussion forums. We would have forums built in, right? WhatsApp groups, forums, online forums, wherein they would go. They not only need to wait for the instructor to come during the weekend, there's a lot of collaborative work that happens among the participants in a particular cohort or group, right? So you would have group discussion forums. And sometimes, Shankar, what happens is that, I may be hesitant during the live session to ask a question, right? But if the same question, I find it in a forum, I would be more comfortable to kind of ping the person who has asked the question, right? Hey, who is going to resolve that? So there is a lot of collaborative effort that happens between the students and the instructor during the course of the program.
Okay, that's also useful to know. And so we have covered the course structure, contents, and methodology just now in terms of Q&A learning. So, and we'll come to the course fees. Can you please share the course fees and the currency of the course? Is it INR or is it anything else than that?
So in terms of the course duration, right? Like I said, it's going to be 4 months. We are planning to start the batch in April, right? Most likely we would start the first batch immediately during mid-April, right? 16th of April, also during the weekend following the 15th of April, right? So that's going to be the batch number 1. The specific exact dates for batch number 1 is tentative, but they would start on April 21st and 22nd, the weekend of 20th and 21st. 20th is a Saturday and 21st is a Sunday. So we would start on 20th and 21st as the first batch, right? And in terms of the course fees, we are pegging it at a very nominal 20,000 rupees, INR, Indian rupees. But then in terms of payment, we would have modalities to pay in any currency which you would have with a foreign exchange rate associated with that, right? So this 20,000 rupees INR includes the GST component as well.
Okay. Yeah. And so is it possible for a student to pay like in 2 parts or something like that? Because some of them are like going to be freshers, right? So they will have probably not that much free cash flow with them or savings with them yet. So is that something that you have thought of as an option?
Yes. So in terms of, part payment, we would have separate discussions with them. Ideally, we would want to have them invest upfront because in our opinion, right, one of the core values that we believe in is the commitment, right? If you commit yourself, and 4 months is not too much of a time, right? And in today's world, 20,000 rupees, in our opinion, is a very nominal amount. That said, if there are real financial issues, right, our team, when we look at eligibility criteria, our admissions team would definitely consider EMI options, right? And one of the things that we would definitely want students to provide to us is the documents regarding their graduation, marks, work experience. All these would be taken and verified at the time of batch commencement, right?
Okay.
And therefore, the admission of the candidate would stand cancelled if we find that, some of these important documents are missing. And therefore, if we look at the documents of offer letters from organizations and their salary emoluments, etc., and if we find that they won't be able to afford, definitely the admissions team would grant them EMI options, right?
Okay.
Because one of the things, Shankar, is that our core value is that the core principle on which we operate is value matters and values matter, right? And let me spend a couple of minutes explaining that. Now, if you look at all the major companies, all the top companies in the world, one of the real reasons that they succeeded, right, in the long term is because their values were very strong, right? So our core values is value matters. We agree that, in terms of what you derive from this course will catapult you to a new organization, to a better, designation, to a better salary. Therefore, there is tremendous value that we offer. But underlying that is our core principles, our values, right? Let me give you an example, right? Jeff Bezos of Amazon, right? In the late 90s, during the Christmas season of 99, there was a time when they ran out of stocks because the orders on Amazon.com at that point in time were so high that their inventory could not meet the demand. And therefore, Jeff Bezos took his truck, right? He went around the locality, drove around, went back to the retail stores and brought his own product at a premium and ensured that the customers were serviced, on-time delivery was adhered to, even at a loss for the company, right? Because that was the kind of customer focus and the values that Amazon was built on, which ensured the long-term sustenance of the organization, right? And therefore, and Infosys, for example, you were in Infosys, and I need not, tell you about, their tagline, right? You can help me recollect that. I think it is something like driven by values, right? Powered by intellect and driven by values, right? So values is one of the core principles. And unless all successful people that I have encountered in my work life, right, they've had their core values intact. And therefore, I feel that we definitely will give an EMI option, but subject to providing the necessary documentation and we being convinced that the candidate is definitely in a position not to, in a financially not sound position.
That makes sense. Makes sense. In fact, that was the origin of that question, that in case somebody needs that, is it available? So it looks like it is available. So that's a good point. So I think we have done the full round of questions that we had planned. And so I'm going to create a full page on our new site, gsbx.org, where we'll be posting this course along with various other courses that we have been preparing, and also start sharing this in our LinkedIn community. And I think this is extremely good what we did today to give the overview of this program. And thank you very much for these explanations and answering the questions. Thank you, Venki.
Thank you, Shankar, for getting me onto this program, and look forward to tutoring and then ensuring that the careers of the young professionals take off and they have a great future ahead. Thank you.
Yes. I think that's together we have a common view on that we have to teach what we know well to others. And I fully agree that for the kind of learning and skills that will be available through this program, and the duration, the course fees, it's actually a very good course here, and that should be used by as many people as possible, subject to the availability of obviously seats in the program. So with that, thank you again. Bye.
Thank you, Shankar. Bye.